10 years in the PD, he and his wife have adopted the Palmetto State as their own. His middle name is Networking. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Doctors Bruce and Lee Foundation Library, the headquarters for the Florence County Library System. We're focused on the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce, and we're visiting with its president, Tom Marschel. Good morning, Tom.
Well, good morning. I'm delighted to be here. What a wonderful surrounding we are conducting this interview.
I know, and to get in at 7 before the library opens. Isn't it amazing walking through earlier this morning with no one in here and to really feel the mammoth size of it?
I think it's the echo of the footsteps that gets you great.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's quite a magnificent building, and just a gem for Florence, and the community has embraced it, and you know, it's something that we can all be proud of for years and years and years to come.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, earlier in the week, Scotty Davis was with us on Monday, on Valentine's Day. And then folks who haven't been in here much, Jane Tuttle with the New Life Rescue Ministries was with us on Tuesday. George, obviously, breaking the week on Wednesday. And yesterday, Elizabeth Caldwell, someone who's only been in town 5 months but recognizes such an incredible value of a magnificent public library like this and really how it changes not only the entire county but the region.
Well, it does, and people, it's just a head-turner. In fact, ETV, in their roadshow series, this was the site last fall, and they chose to be here, and we had pretty good turnout.
Really?
Yeah, they have a little children's, kind of a Barney-type character, and I think they had 300 kids show up for his. I don't have children that age.
Yeah,
just grandchildren.
Not anymore. So, that's right. That's right. You do have grandchildren, though, Tom.
Yes, I have 2 in Phoenix. You know, in America today, you got to go where the jobs are. So my son and daughter-in-law live in Phoenix, Arizona, and we get to go out and visit. It's a great place at Christmas time and the desert atmosphere. So.
Yeah, it must be very nice. Am I correct? You have 3 boys, Tom?
Yeah, I do. Actually, my middle son, Bill, is a PGA golf pro, and he recently came back from the Philadelphia Golf Show. He's at Crown Park, which is
in Myrtle Beach.
In Myrtle Beach,
yeah.
He's the head pro there, and I get to play occasionally with him, get a free lesson.
Good rates on that course.
Yeah, well, it's kind of payback, you know. Dad wrote a few checks, right?
I better get him on and some range balls.
My youngest son is Patrick. He's a musician, working full-time at Radio Shack, however, plays keyboard and jazz bass, and we're going to get him one of those T-shirts that says, "No job, no car, no food, but I'm in a band."
You probably wear that to sleep in. That's right. I've been thinking of your poor son. That's Patrick.
Yeah. That's the whole raft of children, and I'm delighted that 2 of them have lived here in South Carolina, and this is my wife and I, Marilyn, call this is our adopted state. We fell in love with Florence. I've now been here 10 years and 5 years as president of the chamber.
Is that 5 years now?
Yes, and what a wonderful organization the chamber is. We have just big members. I mean, big member turnout. We have almost 900 members of the chamber, and it's great. We do member services, and it's like your full-time job is keeping your customers happy, and it's a wonderful environment to do.
Well, of course, the first 5 years you were in town, am I correct? Serving as publisher of the Florence Morning News,
That's
or the
correct.
Morning News. Then I guess you all made a name change while you were at the helm.
Yeah, we built a printing plant and repositioned it and took it to regional, because I think that the growth of the newspaper and the growth of Florence has been mirrored by many of the companies that have become regional providers. That suddenly Florence wasn't just a small railroad town. It became more of a metropolitan area. And as the town grew, people were saying, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And all of a sudden, here we are in this beautiful library. And, you know, we can drive out to 5 Points and make a left turn and go to a 14-screen cinema, not feature that. And with the Preet Company out of Philadelphia coming in and really turning the mall into a major event. We had a Belk always and a JCPenney and a Sears, but certainly the addition of a Target store
Super Target.
Goodies has been performing very well out there, and Bed Bath & Beyond.
Is that right?
Yes.
Additions I wasn't aware of. That's tremendous.
Talbot's, the very high-end ladies store, came to Florence and snuck in, and within a year they had to expand by 50%.
You are kidding.
No, so it's a very vibrant retail market.
What do you think is bringing in the folks who can service strong retail shops like that? What do you think? What's the attractive aspect of Florence? I mean, Talbot's would have showed up a long time before had it always been here, right?
Right. I think it's become a destination market. People will drive from an hour because it's a place to be. We had seen some traffic patterns going to Columbia. We had seen some traffic patterns, of course, down to the beach outlets, the Tanger outlets down at the mall, but in Myrtle Beach. Yet we now have a very, very deep mixture of retail, and are serving that community well.
I'm sure the folks on the Strand are probably not too happy about that. That now folks in Marion may be inclined to just head up a 76 or 501 and keep going up into the center of the PD as opposed to heading down to the beach and possibly being stuck in traffic. I'm sure you like to promote traffic patterns.
We like to talk about Florence being the heart of the PD. We were the transportation hub, which was the start of it. Now we're a major intersection of two interstates. And however, as the medical center and the medical hub, it would certainly be next to be the retail hub.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing.
It is a tremendous medical hub, isn't it? That has a dramatic impact. When we think about the substantial number of folks that come to continue to make Carolina's hospital system, McLeod, as well as some of the outlying major community hospitals, continue to strengthen them, really help set the stage, as well as some of the other amazing manufacturing companies and others that have made this home, help set the stage for folks like Talbot and Target and others to do really, really well.
Well, I think Florence has a lot of oh my gosh moments or aha moments. When Honda, for example, first elected to move here and built personal watercraft. Everybody said, oh, that's nice. They're going to come and build personal watercraft. And then Honda announced, well, we're also going to put in an engine manufacturing plant. And, oh, by the way, now we do, I mean, they started with the ATVs, then did the engine plant, and now doing personal watercraft. And so we're kind of looking down to say, well, when do we get the motorcycles?
That's right, and then there's something after that, too. Yeah.
But that brings so many support industries, and Honda just, we like to look at, as chamberers, we like to look at our corporate citizens, and I'm really delighted by the role that Honda and McLeod and Carolinas all play in making this a much, much better community because of they take it seriously being corporate citizens. And
they don't have to be large employers to do that either. You think of Roche, who has a magnificent facility, not necessarily a large number of employees, but obviously the quality and not necessarily the quantity.
And it's not necessarily a financial contribution. It's having their executives be part of what we do. For example, like most chambers, we have an executive leadership program. You know, every year we have 30 people, and they come in and get in the Leadership Florence class.
Right.
And each year, since the new Roche facility has been open, they have hosted our graduation, where we bring the 30 or so class participants, their spouses, and the people that conduct the program, and bring them out to Roche, have a nice dinner for them, and that's all for the good of the community and for the good of the chamber. But you're right, Greg. We have a good mix of small businesses here and some of the larger businesses, and that's, as I said, our job is member services, and we try to provide programs that do what they're looking for us to do. And essentially, that's networking.
That's the key word. I've been waiting. We're 10 minutes in, Tom, and it hadn't come out of your mouth yet. I was surprised that it didn't come out, right after we wrapped up talking about your sons, because that is such a big word, and it enables the small business owner or the small business employee, like Scotty was talking about on Monday, to interface with the Roche Carolinas, as well as the McLeods and Carolinas Hospital System and Hondas and Jeff Helton's and others.
We do the quarterly networking breakfast, which allow purchasing agents to come and meet with the small businesses. When McLeod did their expansion, Bovis came in. They conducted a special seminar through the chamber for small business people so that they could bid on and be part of that construction project. And sometimes that's all it takes. Many of our events, and people looking, well, what does the chamber do? Oh, yeah, have those business after hours. Well, we just had a business after hours. The sheriff hosted it. It was at Buffy's Sportsman's Paradise at 52 and 95. We had over 250 people there.
No way.
So, well, that was the head count. I get an unofficial head count from Mandy. I go up and I say, well, how are we doing, Mandy? She said, well, we just went through a whole tablet of name cards. I said, well, how many in there? She said, there's 150. So
that must be a great feeling.
That's the science of marketing as practiced by the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce. How many name tags did we use?
Well, that's great. Absolutely. Of course, I always take one and mess it up and have to do another, but that's probably not indicative.
We'll double count you, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. 152.
But that's, I think, so much a part of what we do. We probably have 10 to 12 business after hours a year. We have two very, very well-attended events. One is called the PD Economic Outlook.
Right.
And the other is the State of the City and County. Now, 5 years ago, they had one of these dinners a year. It's a luncheon, actually, one of these luncheons a year. We went to the banking community and said, we'd like to do two of these. One which would focus on the state of the city and county and essentially involve the mayor and the chairman of county council in giving their state, their white paper. But the other would be a regional look. So we've got Senator Lindsey Graham coming this spring.
Oh, Lord, tremendous.
The governor came last spring, and those are very well attended. And we pretty much fill up the Civic Center, 550. I tell my wife, I say, well, I'm going to have lunch today with 550 of my closest and intimate friends.
Including a senator or a governor, that's right.
Yes. But the PD is, as I said, it's been wonderful to watch the market grow and have the people that have said it's going to happen, finally being able to say it's really happening.
It's happening, and it's going to continue. That's right, and it's going to continue to happen.
Well, about 7 years ago, our mayor, Frank Willis, began to do some public visioning about what would your downtown look like if you could take a magic wand and wave it. And he hosted a number of public visioning meetings that was held at Pointer School, and from that we developed a group called the 2010 Committee, because that's kind of what we said. What would it look like that far away? Well, now it's 2205.
Yeah.
We're halfway through. The 2010 Committee became the Downtown Development Corporation.
Right.
The Downtown Development Corporation approached City Council to say, well, this is what the public would like to see, but we really need the help of some outside consultants. And went to City Council twice now and have asked for less than $250,000, but these funds funded two major studies of our town, and the first was just an overall feasibility study by the experts from out of town from Charlotte, and the second was done by a company called Hunter Interests. And they specialize in small town development. We have seen a real vision of continued growth. And they, these experts from out of town, they always use these words that nobody ever heard before, like catalyst project. We didn't know what a catalyst project was. We're sitting in what they call a catalyst project, which is physical evidence that the regrowth or rebirth of an area is happening. We have another one just behind you, about a mile and a half away, is the Bush Recycling Center. And if you'll drive on 52, you look to your right, you can see the carcass of an old DC-3 airplane. And that's been one of our memorable sites in Florence for years and years and years. And it's 9 months into an 18-month project to move it away.
It's fabulous, Tom. It's amazing to think everything that's going on.
Well, the city has purchased a property in addition that is, we had something called the Downtowner Motor Hotel, which was an abandoned motel property, and regrettably it was right in a major intersection. That has been purchased, and if you were there today, you would see a beautiful grass field. So the downtown is moving along. these folks said, you know, you're going to see some festivals grow up. And all of a sudden last year we had a pecan festival, and we spent most of the time talking about whether we should call it the pecan festival or the pecan festival.
I'm sure that did take a little bit. You know, it's fascinating just hearing you talk. It's amazing to think over the last few months we've had some guests down to the Myrtle Beach studio, and all of them in one way or another. Either in this aspect, Roy Adams was with us, obviously talking about downtown redevelopment. Sherry Nordine was with us, who's in your Leadership Florence program, and then Precious Criswell was with us talking about the event that you all do with Francis Marion, of Martin Luther King Jr. event that happened, I think, on January 13th or the 15th. But it was amazing how these folks have traveled down to the beach to get the word out. They're really getting the word out about things the Chamber's intimately involved with.
Well, we call it our business plan. The jargon is the program of work. But essentially what it is it's us becoming integrated into the community. And you know, we were talking about some of the major things that are coming up, and I talked a little bit to you off air about the air show, which is this will be our 4th year of the Chamber sponsoring just a major regional air show called the Mayfly Air Show. And we go off to this big convention in Dallas and talk to these major performers that are in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and Pensacola, and they're coming here to Florence.
This is April 30th and May 1st.
That's correct, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
It's the same show on both days, and this will be our 3rd year. There's 2 brothers named the Shockleys who, believe it or not, put 3 jet engines on a Peterbilt jet truck and race it down the runway. They race a biplane, and well, I won't tell you who wins, but let's just say that if you can go from 0 to 300 in about 4 seconds.
Oh, come on. No.
Last year, the naysayers said it can't possibly go that fast. And then after it was done, everybody said, I can't believe it could go that fast. And it does.
0 to 304 seconds?
Yes. He does. He's at 300 miles an hour. He uses, I don't know how many gallons of jet fuel.
Yeah, you got to be kidding.
Well, and that's not the fast one. He's got a 57 GMC pickup truck with 2 jet engines, and it's much littler and lighter. And so this year we're gonna have them race.
And so you've got big screens up that show the miles per hour, and just see it I mean, it's...
Don't blink. You'll miss it.
Tom, that must be exciting.
It was.
You've got folks coming in. I remember we were with you about a year ago at Francis Marion, you and Dr. Carter and others, promoting DAD as well as so many other things happening in the Chamber. And I think it being the 3rd annual then, and hearing you talk about it, and obviously now leading up to the 4th annual, you must be thrilled.
Well, the jet trucks are big, and it's a big act. And regrettably, we had some bad weather last year, and it kind of rained. But you know, jet trucks don't need good weather to drive.
Yeah.
But we got a stealth fighter that flew over. That was very, very impressive. The Air Force Heritage Flight was there with an F-16 and what was called a 104 Phantom. The Black Daggers from North Carolina, Fort Bragg, big skydiving team, U.S. Army, male-female team that comes in and opens the show. But we're very proud to be the host of the air show, Greg. It's the airport was a World War II training base, and it's just that the guy from the FAA said, you know, if I could design an airport for an air show, it would be Florence.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
MayflyAirshow.com.
Yes, www.mayflyairshow.com.
Okay, and viewers, of course, could call the 843-665-0515 number to not only find out more, if they don't have the internet, to find out more information, but of course to check with you about so many of the activities going on within the Chamber. Is the Chamber reasonable for small businesses, Tom?
We're proud that about 40% of our members are what you call 1- and 2-person businesses. Okay. The rate for them is about $300 a year.
Tom, that's less than $1 a day.
They get our free website listing, and we're seeing, I think we had over 350,000 hits on the Chamber website last year.
Is that right?
Whether you're a service provider, insurance agency, a local attorney, restaurant. In fact, I'm very proud of something which we launched in January, and it's been very well received. Florence has the distinction of being the most hotel-motel one-night place in America.
Oh, come on. Really?
1,100 to 1,400, give or take, per night. Well, we're halfway between
Miami and
New York, and we're Interstate 20 stops.
That's right.
So the Hospitality Association and the Chamber have had a number of conversations about what's the second question people ask when they check into a hotel after, how do I get to my room? Where do we eat?
Yeah.
So anyway, we did this really nice restaurant guide, and it's free to Chamber members, and it's free to the Hospitality Association, and it's got a really nice map. And somebody says, where are those little green dots? And I said, well, how do you tell somebody from out of town how far to go? It's 4 stoplights.
Oh, great.
So the green dots are the stoplights. And there's 56 restaurants listed there. The hotel clerks, when we first brought this out, you thought we were giving them lottery tickets that had already won. They said, oh, thank you, thank you.
They must have been thrilled.
Well, they had these little Xerox sheets to say, here's how to get to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
And they probably didn't even want to give up the Xerox sheets. I mean, they're just pointing it out. That's right. Now they actually have something they can give out. I'm sure that's gotten tremendous response.
It has, and I think that's all part of, as I mentioned earlier, is the networking opportunities. Mm-hmm. We are in the printing business. We do newcomer directories. We have directories of membership. This is in fact the cover of our newest, and this came out in January. This is the visitor's guide that we mail. Mm-hmm. So if you send an inquiry about moving to the market and want to know about Florence, we send you this. And then
that's great looking.
The directory portion, of course, has our members in it, and we have that by name. We have that by name of business, and then we have a Yellow Pages directory as well. Mm-hmm. But it's the internet that we're seeing more and more people want to get online. We did an analysis, and we looked at some of the people that were, we looked at the service sector and looked at lawyers and saw the hits. And about half the hits were after like 7 o'clock at night. And somebody said, well, why is that? And I said, you didn't raise 3 sons, did you? Mm-hmm. And they said, no. I said, it's very easy. You come home, you have dinner, and your son's real quiet at dinner. And then after dinner, after you've had a nice dinner, he says, Dad, I got to tell you about the ticket I got today. And that's when you go to the internet directory and look up the lawyer.
So you got that talk a couple of times there, Tom.
Yeah.
More than a couple.
Well, you're in for it, yes.
Yeah, fortunately it's a girl. So
it'll be your turn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, girls drive just as badly as boys do now.
Maybe worse. Don't remind me. Golly, Tom, you know, there's so many aspects. Of course, we didn't even talk about your first 5 years here when we talk about really getting involved in the community. Of course, being president of the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce is probably as close to the community as you can get, but being the publisher of the Morning News was probably a tremendous opportunity to set the stage for your position here.
The transition from being the publisher of the newspaper and knowing the community and certainly knowing some of the, not just the leaders, but as you know, in the media, you get to know the small business people as well, and I think you really become acquainted with the community. Mm-hmm. Our mission in the first 2 years was essentially to ramp up all the programs. We had a pretty good membership base, and our goal with the staff was if you came to a chamber event, you left saying, you know, that was better than last year. And we knew if we could do that 2 years running, that our halo would be kind of permanently affixed. And we've added programs. I mentioned the Economic Outlook. We recently had our Fine Flavors of Florence, an awesome auction, which is just a great fund and fundraiser with 15 restaurants participating. And, you know, for the large price of $10, you can come and have dinner and enjoy an auction. We added the very important Administrative and Professionals Day, long ago known as Secretary's Day. Right. But we'll have 300 in attendance at our Administrative and Professionals Day. So that it gives a business person an opportunity to say to his support staff, here, I'm going to buy a table, or I'm going to send 2 or 3 or 4 of you. And we have a good speaker and a good lunch and door prizes and a lot of fun.
You are slammed all the time, Tom. You know, Scotty talked about the Small Business Person of the Year award, which comes out, I believe, next month in March.
That's right. We do that with the PD Economic Outlook lunch, and we name that. And we recently named at our annual dinner, which was held in January, Hal Campbell from ACS Technologies was picked as Business Person of the Year. ACS is a software provider. Hal's business grew from very few customers to over 20,000 customers. And he made the decision that the quality of life and Florence was the kind of town that he wanted to stay in. So the business community recognized him this year.
That's tremendous. Tom, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Well, just ask me back.
Sorry, we've run out of time. We'll get you back soon, definitely.
Okay.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Tom Marschel coming up next. For the membership of close to 900, the one primary benefit you got to be thinking about is networking. Networking, networking, networking. The Chamber's business is to help other businesses grow. They're like when we think about what happened this past Tuesday, the panel that was here at the library, all the advertising executives here in the community with that recognition of our goal is to help businesses grow. The Chamber is doing it, but in a not-for-profit sense. They want to help everyone grow. Small business, large business. You heard Tom talk about it. It's that keyword networking and the opportunity of recognizing whether it's the Mayfly Air Show, bringing lots of folks into the region that have never experienced an event like that, or whether it's the membership directory or the newcomer guide, or exactly what he said, just the recognition in hotels from the hotel attendants of now having a member directory of restaurants, to be able to give that out to folks all over the world that are stopping in Florence on a weeknight or a weekend. The opportunity is great. Give the Chamber a call, 843-665-0515. That's 843-665-0515, or go online at flowchamber.com. Get involved.